Hello everyone. So today, as part of your project on India, we're going to learn about a type of art called Gond art. The Gond people are an indigenous people who live in central India. Indigenous means the original people, the people that were there first. So they're the largest tribe in India. And the word Gond means green mountain. There is artwork from the Gond people going back over 1400 years, and they have used this type of art to decorate their homes. So they use mainly animals that they see around them or flowers, and put lines and dots and patterns inside them to create a really interesting art form. So this is Gond art. This is a really simple fish design, and you can see 3 fish on here. One of them is behind the other 2, and that's achieved by when you would draw the first one, then the second, and when you do the third, you draw that line and then jump over and do that line and jump over and do that line. We've talked about that before in some of our art lessons, haven't we? So you appear to make these ones be in front of the one that's behind, and you can see this pattern, which is a little bit like a rainbow pattern on the fishes, which is a very typical way that the Gond art do patterns. Here's another fish design that's interesting because it's 2 fish coiled around each other. You can see that pattern again, a bit like a rainbow pattern, or in this case, it looks a bit more like a peacock's eye. So they're very recognisable as fish, but they're also highly patterned and designed. And drawing these patterns takes quite a long time. It's not something that you can do quickly. You need to take your time out and do it to make them look really good. Now, this is another. I'm going to move that out of the way because it's distracting. Sorry. This is another one which is quite fun because this is quite a fat, round fish with little fish coming off the side of it. And again, you can see this rainbow peacock's eye pattern on the fish. So when you're deciding to do your own Gond art, when you start to do your drawing, you can pause the video on any of these images that I'm showing you to help you to use them to give you inspiration for your art. So if you really like this picture, you could use this one as inspiration. Here's another one. So it's a simple sort of curved fish form. It's got that pattern that we've already talked about here. And on this one, it's just got some lines and dots. And this one, sorry, I'll come back to that in a second. This one is my favourite. It's hard to see it because it's portrait rather than landscape, so I'll take it down. I love this one. It's so vibrant and bright. So it's lots of little birds sitting on a branch of a tree with patterns and colours behind. So I'll leave that there, and if you want to use that as an inspiration for your picture, then you can pause the video on there and use that. So this is a very simple image that shows you some of the Gond patterns. So there's the one we were talking about before, that's a bit like a rainbow. And then there's lines that are close together, and then circles inside circles, which is called concentric circles. That's another design that they would use a lot of. So to start the project today, you will need some copy paper. I would have 2 pieces because I'd have one where you do a little practice and try out a few different ideas, and one that's your actual piece of work. I'm using a black Sharpie. If you don't have a Sharpie, that's fine. You can use a black felt tip pen like this one, or if you've only got pencils, you can use a pencil. But the design and the pattern will stand out better if you can use a black pen. Even if it's a biro, the pattern would stand out better. So if you've got some kind of black pen, use that. I would say, however, if you're using a Sharpie, make sure you put something underneath the paper that you're using, otherwise it will damage the surface. So I'm going to start by showing you how to do a simple bird, like on this design here. So all you would do is a diagonal line going up like this, and then curve it round so it comes down. Very simple way to do a bird. And then the wing is there, the beak there. a dot and the eye. On the picture, some of them have got little legs, but the little legs are just like that. So that's a really simple bird that you can do. There's a different bird. Sorry, let me find some more paper. On this picture as well. There's a few different ones. This one's a bit more square. This one's the beak's in a slightly different place. So like I said before, you can pause the video on this to have a look at what you might do. I'm going to try and draw this one here. So it's from the other direction. So I'll come down a bit so that I can try and have that on the side there whilst I'm drawing. So I would follow the line, which is slightly curved. It comes round there, round to there. That bit goes up there. Comes down here. Almost like a fish, isn't it, that? And then that bit goes up there with a dot and a circle for the eye. And the beak. And the wing comes around here. And then you would start to put the pattern on. So you can see on this one, it's got the little kind of rainbow pattern that you would put on like this. So I've added more patterns onto my bird, and I've put the bird on a branch, and I've broken at the background a bit like this, and I've put like some dots on this one and some of the little lines here. So that's something that you could think about doing, and then put bright colours in here. I'm going to show you now how to do a typical Gond fish like this one. So often the fish that they have are curved. So I'm going to start in this corner and come round with a curved line. Then I'm going to go back here and do the fancy tail. And this comes around like this. There's my fish's head. And then there's like a fan sort of fin there, and another fin that comes out there. And he also, on this one, has got like some things on his back like this, which adds to the design. Some of the drawings like this one, some of the drawings or paintings have got like brightly coloured backgrounds, and some of them have got completely plain backgrounds, and so that the animal stands out really well. And then I would divide this fish up into sections. So there's a section there. There's his eye. There's a section there. I might break this area up into sections and put different patterns in each one. I think it doesn't have a mouth, but I think I'm going to put a mouth in mine. Smiley mouth says a smiley fish. And I'm going to start to put some patterns in now. So I've finished adding patterns to my fish. When you do this pattern, this rainbow one, I ended up having to lose the mouth because I couldn't really make that work with the pattern. You need to just find little areas where you can change directions to fit in the lines, the curved lines that you're doing. And then I divided this part up into curved sections and made my parallel lines fit in with the curve that I'd done. So that's quite a typical Gond design. And if I was going to add colour to it, not really generally too many colours or very bright colours. Usually the colours are fairly simple. So this section, because I've done this in Sharpie, I can go over this with my colour pencils, and the Sharpie shows through really well. So that section in one colour. And then this section, perhaps in this whole section in a different colour. So I'm finished adding colour to my fish design. This isn't something that you can rush. The doing the patterns and lines does take time, but I think it's really worth it. If I wanted my fish to be like this fish design with another fish behind it, that would be quite simple. All I'd need to do is to have the line here where the other fish was going to be. And then when I reached my fish, I would stop and then I would come out here. And have another fish behind with a fin there and maybe a fin there. And then you can put patterns on that one and build up your patterns. So I really hope you enjoy making your Gond art design. Remember, we've got all these images that we looked at first that you can pause the video on that will help you to inspire you and come up with your own ideas. Have a practice first at doing a little bird or doing a fish, and then think about what design you're going to do.